Yo, what is going on? Sweet Phil here, and today in this video right here, I'm showing you how you should kind of build your sorceress at the beginning of Diablo 2 Resurrected. This is going to be the best way, in my opinion, that is, to play through the game the easiest and the fastest for you and your character here. Now, if you could, if you get anything out of the video, make sure you hit the like button for me. So, when we jump into it, I'm going to start off with the stats. That's usually the easiest place to start. You want to have, when you're coming out of Act 1, just a tip I give to everybody, have 25 to strength, because the belt that you end up using you can buy from Far, that's right next to me here. You need 25 strength to wear it, and then you have 3 rows of potions, and that's kind of a big help while you're playing through the game. Early on, you're chugging potions left and right. I didn't add any points in dexterity, I just got a few boosted from charms and stuff like that, so not just enough strength to wear your gear, but try to get over 25 going in Act 2. Everything else I put into vitality. I did not put anything into energy. We'll go to the skill tree. You start off lightning, and I usually go charged bolt because you end up with a bunch of different charged bolts. You see right now I have 11 coming out, and those, if you get right up next to a monster, all of them can hit the same one if you're right next to them. So really, even though it looks 6 to 8 does not look like a lot of damage, it really times that by 10, so you're getting up to like 80 damage. And plus it can spread out and hit a bunch of monsters, so if it's a bunch of weak monsters, you can hit them all at the same time. You also, for killing bosses here, you can see static takes down a percentage of their health, you see, by 25%. So let's say you're going against Andariel, you get up right next to her, cast that a few times, you get her health down to 25% or even lower. You can keep getting it all the way down in normal, and you can kill monsters much faster that way. It works the best on monsters with a ton of health that would take you a long time to kill, like Andariel or Daryl and stuff like that. Next, telekinesis. I use that a lot too when I get further into the game, but early on I don't use it a whole lot. But then you want to get teleport as soon as you can, which is level 19, 18, 19, I forget now, I think it's 18, but obviously teleport is going to be incredibly important. Fire skills, I just put 1 point into warmth. For every sorcerer's build you always put 1 point into warmth. Cold skills, I got 1 into frozen armor, obviously for the defensive bonus, and then if something does hit you, they get cold, and gives you a chance to run away better. And Frost Nova is one I use early on. Later on, after you go to your endgame build, I'm not necessarily going to use that, but you cast Frost Nova, it slows down everything cold lengthy 8 seconds, so you can cast it on a big group, you back up, and then you cast out all of those charged bolts, and then they won't come at you as fast, and that way you can cast and cast and cast and cast and take them out faster that way. So that's a little tip on gameplay wise right there. I got a few extra points here that I had forgotten to use, so we'll just pump those into charge bolt. Why not? We'll take a look at the gear, and the gear, there's a few that you want to strive to get, and then some of the other stuff is just whatever the best you can find for, trash gear and normal, pretty much, essentially. So right now I just got this 3 to lightning staff. I could get charge bolt stuff, but this is what I found. So you could, if you're not going to do lightning, if you decide not to necessarily follow this, don't forget about the leaf staff, Referral, and you get all this stuff. Everything on this one is from the rune word, so don't forget about that if you decide to go fire, but that obviously wouldn't help out a lightning sorceress too much. For armor, you see the level requirement here on stealth is 17, so you can't use it right away, but obviously every single character in the game, stealth is amazing. Obviously for any caster, 25% faster cast rate is going to be amazing for a sorceress, along with the hit recovery and walk run and all that other little stuff on there. For helmet, I got a garbage helmet, haven't found nothing good, but Ort Soul, you can make a lore later, or you can get a helm. What I usually like to do is plug in topazes into a helm. It's a good way to get magic find early, and then you can actually find better gear to make your character better. In my opinion, the one skill from lore, everything else on it's trash, not really worth using that much in my opinion. I like getting all the more magic find. Amulet, this is actually a pretty good one for early on. 11 all res with 16% better magic find. Yeah, it's another one, whatever you can find and get lucky at there. My boots are some rare boots I found. That's another place, whatever best you can find. The rings, you would really like to get faster cast rate rings, and even on the amulet early on if you could, but I was not lucky enough to. But yeah, any faster cast rate you can get there. Belt, same thing. You're probably going to get a rare belt. If you can get a perfect amethyst at some point, a caster belt is going to be a good option. That's usually later on in normal. And actually for a caster amulet too, if you can manage to get 1 or 2 perfect amethysts somehow, maybe from gem shrines, you know, hit it with a flawless. Gloves, you're going to want to get some mage fists early on. If you get super duper lucky, besides that, not a lot of good options, whatever kind of garbage one that you can find. So actually the Mercenary 2 we go over real quick. I always get Act 2 Mercenary as soon as I can, just so he can be the meat shield since I'm a sorceress casting. Later on, obviously, you want to get the Act 2 Defensive Mercenary, but that's later on, obviously. You just get whatever one you can. I decided to go with the Defiance one here for increased defense for your party. But, you know, you plug in any pole arm, or I think you can put spears on too, but there's a few little rune words that I haven't had a chance to make yet. Tier makes strength, which is a good option to go in a pole arm, and then there's Malice, Ith-El-Eth, which is another one, depending on what you find, you know. Armor and helmet, whatever the best you can find, you make. You could even stick a stealth on here just so your mercenary runs around faster and you get that hit recovery. That's not a bad idea either. So the Act 2 Mercenary, once again, that's going to be what you're going to want to use pretty much for every build, and the sorceress is no exception. So kind of no matter what build I'm going to end up going into, whether it's Blizzard or just a standard lightning sorceress or in the fire skill tree, what I decide to do end game, I always start out with this charge bolt build. It tends to work out the best on when playing through normal until you can get up to that level 24 to do Blizzard or to do Meteor or whatever you want to get to do your build. So I kind of always go with this charge bolt build. If you end up getting any tips, any advice out of this one, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you like Diablo 2 content, which obviously you would. That's why you're watching this right here, because all I do is make Diablo 2 videos. Huge shout out to the channel members. With your support you make making the videos and streaming possible. Peace out, YouTube. Hopefully I catch you next video. And don't forget, keep slaying.